Alright, YouTube. Welcome to Alhaitham Story Quest Act 1, probably the finale. We're heading to Siraj's hideout for what will probably be a bit of an epic showdown. First, we gotta deal with these two. Must be down there somewhere. Yeah, there it is, right there.
This is the place.
It's so well hidden, but there's nothing spooky about it. Let's go inside and take a look.
Nothing spooky about it except the mysterious air current going in. Alright, well, this is probably a domain here. Okay, recommended elements, dendro and electro. Sure. Who else? Who are we gonna see here? Hydro, slimes, animals, slimes, electro, whopper flower, cryo whopper flowers. Got hydro, electro, cryo, some other fungus that are going to be pain to deal with. We also have the jade plume terra shroom, which I used to be able to remember. I used to know how to beat, but I've already forgotten. I am tempted to go with my freeze team, but I think I'm going to stick with my my regular team for this region, which is the one I've had lined up. I don't know. Do I want Yanfei though? Let the Jade Plume kind of. I think with that coming up, maybe Yanfei is probably the right choice. I think I'm still going to keep Fischl in and Barbara. Yeah, sure. Watch me select all of this and then have it be only Alhaitham. But it'll probably be Alhaitham for the Terror Shroom. So if my suspicions are correct, so. But we probably won't need an archer for this. Probably. We'll see though. Okay, so Alhaitham, of course, is a demo character. Let's double check to see what he's got. So we get him at level 90 this time. We have his weapon at level 90. He has four-piece noblesse, which is interesting. That will definitely boost his elemental burst damage. Fortunately, no one else in my party has that right now. But yeah, that's weird. Was that the one that they had in the trial run too? Okay, C3 and Alt 8. Okay. Noblesse isn't what I would have picked for Alhaitham. I didn't pull. Well, I pulled for him technically. I didn't try very hard to get him, and I ended up getting Kuching instead of Alhaitham, and I was just fine with that. But I don't know. There's a few other set artifact sets I would have gone for
It's
besides
bigger
no
on the inside
glass.
than Paimon imagined. Are you sure it's still a work in progress? Ilias, do you remember this place? Huh? Ilias! Where'd he go?
Prediction. What if Ilias was under his control this entire time and his objective was to lead Alhaitham to an ambush, which is going to go horribly wrong for him and all the bad guys.
I don't sense him nearby.
Did he get separated from us? Should we wait here or turn around and look for him?
There's no need for that. Let's keep moving.
Alright. We'll continue in and see if he catches up to us.
My guess is Alhaitham has guessed the same thing I just did, and he's not gonna get fooled by any of this. Yeah, I did pull on the banner, but I was kind of more into getting Xinyan to C6, and I did accomplish that.
It's okay, Ilyas. You've done more than enough for me already.
I don't understand. Everyone knows that Johnny is stealing your research. Why is no one willing to go public with the truth? He shamelessly used your thesis to send in a project application, and whenever the project hits a wall, he asks you for help. Everyone knows what's going on.
Do you know how many people are working on that project? If Johnny was kicked out because of academic fraud, that'd be the end of the project. Too many people would be affected.
But he's obviously taking advantage of you! He throws you the hardest work, and after you're done pulling all-nighters, he struts around with your research data and takes credit for it. That's not right! Why are you putting up with this?
A lot of people warn me to not say anything, and I think they have a point. This is just how things are. All I want is to graduate without any problems. It's okay. He's at least paying me.
Half a year of your time and effort. Countless all-nighters and casual threats and insults. All for a measly 20,000 mora?
20,000 mora? 20,000 mora? Dang. He's cheap.
He's treating people like cattle.
Enough. It's fine. I just need to suck it up and get it done.
20,000 mora. I make more in just one ley line overflow.
What's the matter?
I saw a glimpse of his past.
Huh? You could read minds this whole time and you never told Paimon?
Of course not.
I
I
didn't
was
know
also
I
able
couldn't
to see
tell
those
now.
memories just now. They were probably the ones that leaked out while Ilias was connecting to the collective consciousness.
Connecting collective consciousness?
It's clear that this place isn't a work in progress. The hive has long been finished. The collective consciousness project is already complete, and Ilias is now returning to the collective.
Yeah.
Not entirely. Keep walking and you'll see why.
Okay. So he couldn't have seen anything if we walked up to one of these other things. Yeah, there's nothing here. It was just that one. Okay. So as I was saying, I really wanted to get Xinyan to C6, if only because I'd had her in a lot of my main parties for so long that I felt like I should put her at C6 at some point. I also got not operate this without the keys. Oh, key's right here. Had I pulled Alhaitham, I probably would have built him eventually. But I don't know. I was when I tried him out in the test run, I was probably a little bit more impressed by him than I expected to be. But it wasn't. But I didn't really feel like he was a must-have. Might have done something stupid. Oh. Oh. I see. Okay.
Strange. That doesn't seem right. Maybe we need to use 2 keys at once.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay, I know what I need to do. Maybe I need to focus on what I'm doing, because I need to have both of them in at the same time. Then take this one, then move it up, put it there. Then we take this one, completely close that, move that one up to here, and so forth. Now I can just keep walking these keys forward. No, can't take these out, because if I take this one out, it just closes that. Okay, never mind. Oh. Time to go to work.
Motion to compel.
I'm not going to worry about trying to finesse or anything like that.
Incinerate.
We'll just get these out of the way.
Go, Barbara, go.
There's a lot of electricity right here.
Oz, reveal thyself.
That I didn't want to do. Okay. That worked out fine. Got a nice chest out of it. Don't think I'm missing anything. I am trying to keep my eyes open for the like, but
It's completely different from what Ilias said. This place looks like it's been done for a while.
Contributing to the collective by only thinking to your strengths. How easy.
Alhaitham. Just thinking of that name fills me with hatred. We must get rid of him.
okay. Good luck with that. Alhaitham's not easy to get rid of. I don't want to go there. Oh, come on. Let's spoil sport of people movers. Is there a memory here? There There is a memory here. Let's see what happened this time.
An entire year's worth of work down the drain. And for what? Your reputation? Do you have any idea how many people you've brought down?
You could have played hero any time, so why couldn't you have waited until the project was complete?
I don't understand what you guys are saying. Are you saying you don't care that Raju jumped to his death?
It's a shame. What happened to him? I thought he was stronger than that. Everyone has been working hard to complete the project. He could have endured for a bit longer, but he chose now, of all times, to...
In any case, we're done with you. Because of your recklessness, the Matra are putting Johnny on trial. This project is done for. None of this affects you at all. But do you know how many people, myself included, needed this project to complete their studies? Now our futures are up in the air. If worst comes to pass, we might not be able to graduate. Do you understand now?
I'm sorry.
There's no need for an apology. It's not like I'll accept it anyway. You'll pay for this.
Well,
Hey, you're blinking out again. What did you see this time?
Don't jump to conclusions just yet. Save your words for when we see him.
Well, I kind of followed a little bit from what we saw earlier. There's 2 different places we need to go visit. Let's visit this one first. Oh, we have to visit here because there's a key. Is there anything in here? There's a bunch of equipment. Nothing useful looking. I'll take that key. There's another key up here. And here there's somebody sleeping. Can't talk to him, so I'll just keep moving. Okay. So I'll probably have to come over here, drop off the key that we picked up. Just like this. But we'll pick up this key and take it with us. So I've seen how these things work. Put that key there. Take that key out. Yeah, this is what I was thinking we might have to do. Is just simply walk these keys around.
Why don't we take both keys with us?
We are going to take both keys with us. By now we've... Hold on. What is this over here? Over here was nothing. Okay, never mind. But yes, we're taking both keys with us. Key goes here. This key. Nope. We'll leave these keys where they are because they have to stay there in order for me to walk through. Memory time. What happened this time?
Alias, this is all very strange. Is there really no research group that will take you? Well, to pass this course, you must complete a paper with other researchers. I know you're a hero for fighting academic fraud, but well, we can't make exceptions for heroes, now can we? Maybe you should try to improve your relationship with the other researchers. Getting a reputation for being too unconventional will not stand you in good stead in the long run.
I understand.
You seem troubled.
Let me guess.
Where are my manners? My name is Suraj.
Siraj, I've heard of you before. Do you need something from me?
The world hates people who don't fit in. I imagine you've had your fair share of trouble. After you reported Johnny for academic fraud, you are ostracized and shunned. Even your family can't understand your actions. However, I'm working on some research that will help you merge into a collective. That way, your life won't be so dolorous. How about it? Wanna have a go?
What did you see?
Ilias wasn't forced. Well, he was persuaded to join the Hive. Technically, they're both correct. This one's a little bit more correct than the second one.
I can't believe it! He really did trick us! That giga jerk! No, Siraj is the real giga jerk here. Ilias is just a regular jerk. Ooh, Paimon's so mad! We're gonna find him, and we're gonna make him explain himself!
Well, I mean, if he's part of the collective, which I believe he is, then he may not specifically have had anything to do with his decision to bring us here. Let's not go wandering off the path. Do know that there's a terror shroom coming up, so but yes, it is. You know, we hear stories about whistleblowers, and that seems to be his story here. It certainly is. You know, when you look at it from an outside perspective, it's like, yeah, this was something that had gone out of control and did need to be stopped, but it doesn't always work out well for the people who speak up, even if there are rules to protect them, so to speak. Not saying it's right, but I see what story they're trying to tell here. So yeah, I think the real jerks are the ones who retaliated against him after he reported the fraud.
You've come. I intentionally slowed my integration into the collective consciousness because I wanted to see you one last time as Ilias. And I wanted to apologize to you as him. It was only at Gandharvaville that the second thing I must do occurred to me. Bring you all here. To throw off the Matra and bring Alhaitham to the Hive. That was my task as Siraj number 36.
You were already Siraj number 36? But you passed the Matra's lie detector test!
Yes, I truly did forget many things during that time. Even my identity and assigned responsibilities.
That
However,
checks.
It's not that I got scared and forgot. I chose to delete those memories. It's difficult to fool Alhaitham, so I had to create the perfect guise for myself.
And the best guise is when you believe your own lies.
Correct. I only told you that the Hive was incomplete because I had deleted my memories of its completion. It was finished a long time ago. Before I left, I was already living as number 36. Now, I choose to return to that identity. Only here can I be truly free. That's all I wanted to say. After I enter this room, my consciousness will merge back into the collective. And so, this is goodbye.
Is this your decision?
Yeah, the person we know is Ilias, not Siraj number 36. The outside world is painful sometimes, but Paimon doesn't think that's a reason to run away?
Do you need more time to consider, Ilyas?
Hey, who are...
That is Siraj.
So you're that Giga Jerk!
Giga jerk? How bold of you. Have I done something to offend you?
You?
I modified Akasha terminals to allow users to share memories and emotions. Then, I recruited researchers from the academia to build a collective consciousness. I assigned numbers to everyone and divided the experiment's tasks amongst themselves. Here, people can live easily and happily without needing to exercise complex mental thought. This is what they have chosen. All I've done is fulfill their wishes.
You're just trying to justify yourself!
Then
Of
I
course
ask
he
you,
is.
what's the difference between here and the outside? There are researchers at the academia who engage in dangerous research in extreme environments while others become idle and listless. People are so obsessed with collective will that even those on the fringes will attempt to fit in after suffering setbacks. Isn't that right, Ilyas? There's no need to deny this, as it is fact. It is natural for social creatures to congregate together. And the terminus of conformity is a collective consciousness through which even an ordinary bee colony can become a powerful swarm. Replace the bees with humans, and this model becomes even more potent. Welcome to the hive, Alhaitham. You once arrogantly denied the merits of this project before the Grand Sage. A few simple words from you, and my research was consigned to nothingness. Of course, I'm well aware that you don't care about any of this. You don't care about the pain of others. But I didn't give up. I made my thesis into reality.
When we arrived, I noticed many empty rooms in the hive.
Oh, you noticed that? Then can you guess where their inhabitants are? The answer is the academia. They're executing another phase of the plan. Plan to install me as a sage.
Ooh.
The collective consciousness links all of us into a single mind, showcasing our individual strengths as we work together. We are able to execute complex undertakings while instantaneously modifying our strategies in response to unexpected situations.
This actually goes a lot further than I expected. I'm not surprised that he's going to try to take over the academia. I would have been more surprised if he was just going to live out his experiment here in the middle of Alhaitham Woods. But yeah, so his collective has already infiltrated the academia. It just comes to who it is. I mean, it can't be a bunch of nobodies. That's not going to get him to sage status. But I have a feeling he's not going to get to sage status anyway. So let's see what happens.
Everything has been proceeding smoothly. You are our biggest obstacle. With you out of the way, I'll use my growing influence to turn the collective consciousness into a legitimate study.
Oh, I just thought of something. Maybe the Jade Plume Terrorist Room is part of the collective consciousness.
The project will snowball until ultimately everyone will be part of my hive. No. The hive will be in control. And it will lead the academia towards a new future.
We won't let you do this!
What can you achieve with mere words? You weren't even able to change Ilyas's mind. Return to the hive, number 36.
Yes.
Wait! Don't go back! Look! There are lots of people out there worried about you. And you aren't an outcast. Aren't we your friends?
That's easy for you to say, given that you're travelers, will you two continue to stay at the academia? When you leave, tragedy will repeat itself. Return, number 36. You know as well as I do that comforting words don't make life any easier.
Ilias, why?
You two are just as arrogant as Alhaitham. You think that everyone should be like you and live according to their own truths. But you don't realize that most people simply want easy lives. I allowed number 36 to leave the hive without his memories only because I knew he would eventually return. This proves that I know more about human nature than you do. Alhaitham, do say a word or two. I will consider them as your last.
I made those words quite clear a year ago. The model you presented was extremely unstable. No amount of garish packaging will change its fragile nature. It can't be helped. If you were clever enough to realize those problems, then you would have been aware that the hive changed when Ilias returned to this collective consciousness of yours.
What?
What's happening?
The collective needs motivation to execute its plans, just as machinery requires energy to operate. That's why you, as the Overmind, synchronized your hatred of me into the collective, prompting them to create and execute a plan to eliminate me. However, when Ilias returned to the collective, his memories and emotions were shared with the rest of its members. This includes his perception of me.
Thanks for that. You know, you don't seem like such a bad person. Strange, isn't it? Why did I have those thoughts at that time?
This contradicts the hatred you had provided them, and these two differing emotions will give rise to new conflicts.
So the hatred he was remembering of Alhaitham wasn't his memory per se, but it's the memory that was printed into the hive.
So that's it. Wait, so you knew that Ilias would return to the hive? And then you pretended to keep him around just to fool Siraj.
Yep.
Wouldn't expect any less from you, Alhaitham. Once the collective consciousness bugs out, we'll take that opportunity to... wait. It's back to normal already.
Alhaitham, I told you. You're too arrogant. Did you really think that your little scheme would be enough to destabilize the hive? Ilias's return had indeed introduced abnormal emotions into the hive, but such a meager drop cannot give rise to waves. Your struggle has been in vain, and it's time to end it. Allow me to show you what makes the collective consciousness so formidable.
So many monsters. Where did they come from? And something feels off about them.
I also integrated monsters into the collective, though I ranked them last. Even so, they are part of it. Despite their lack of intelligence, perfect cooperation can be achieved, much like soldiers who have undergone strict training. Now then, drown in endless waves of monsters. You will all pay for your ceaseless arrogance.
You have any idea what we're capable of?
Your plan didn't work, so what do we do now?
I've already sent my gift to the collective. It'll take some time for the recipient to receive it. You two just need to brace yourselves for the nuisance in front of us.
Well, all right. Paimon doesn't know how you get so confident, but we'll hold them off for as long as we can.
We?
Go, Barbara, go! By royal decree. Motion to compel. Ha, ha.
Alhaitham isn't that bad of a person.
But it has to be done. He must be eliminated so that we can evolve.
Scatter!
You see? That is the will of the collective. Even
Keep
with
'em
the
coming.
hatred gone, they continue their work. An external anomaly cannot shake the collective's stability.
Like I said.
I'll protect us. Spring force! Propagate!
I don't want to use that right already. But, since I did.
Scatter!
He won't hold out for much longer.
He's a lot tougher than we imagined.
Something's gone wrong in Academia. The mantra.
Motion to compel.
I want to get the... Oh, come on. I want to get the Whopper Flower out first. Come on.
What's going on?
All right.
What's with this sudden influx of information?
Silence! As the Overmind, I command you!
Motion to compel. Propagate. Oz, reveal thyself.
There, that was well scouted, I suppose. Gonna matter.
Go, Barbara.
Okay, that one's finally out of there.
How is that possible? Why hasn't it been resolved yet?
Was there an error?
Well, there it is. I knew this was coming sooner or later.
Cannot be wrong. The Overmind must have made an error in his judgment.
But Siraj is the most intelligent among us. He is number one. His judgment is the optimal one.
Is that true? Not necessarily.
Just remembered, I believed I'm not supposed to use pyro against it.
By royal decree. Germinate.
Well,
No rest for the wicked.
oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, wait. Tired already?
Protect us. Oz, reveal thyself.
Oh, it's over for you. Dang. What the heck? Well, I didn't have Lumine at this level back when I did when I was beating the Terror Shroom to
Calm down.
level up
Don't you have
Polly.
an easy way to figure this out?
Probably should stop and watch this.
You were only designated as number 36? What a shame. From what I can see, your talents merit a smaller number. Putting aside the validity of the data, it is meaningless to judge individuals based solely on their jnana energy.
What you said to Ilias has now become a memory shared by all members of the Hive.
I see it now! You've channeled and amplified their selfish desires! You're trying to destroy my hive from the inside out!
Human minds are not infinitely pliable. and your hive has stretched many of them to their limit. Once your authority as Overmind starts to wane, it won't be long before your subjects snap back. Is it worth living here like a machine? Being a tool for the rest of my life? As soon as one person begins to have these thoughts, selfishness, doubt, and fear will propagate, thanks to the web of consciousness that you built. At this stage, your so-called hive has already fallen.
It's not over yet. I am the Overmind! There has to be a way!
It's too late. Once the desires of the hive accumulate, beyond a certain threshold, they will kill their king.
Wouldn't have suffered such a disgraceful defeat if I was the Overmind.
My numbers shouldn't be so far down the list. Siraj is alive!
This isn't what we agreed to.
I should be the one in your position!
That was a pretty good plan. I kind of figured he was
The hive
3 steps
shut
ahead.
down?
Yeah, it's over.
What happened just now?
Come on, weren't you paying
Members of a
attention?
collective consciousness are more likely to reach a consensus because of their shared memories and emotions. For example, Ilias did have differing perceptions, but he ultimately followed the collective consciousness's judgment. However, this system is far from perfect. Based on this logic, the collective consciousness will generate an intractable diffusion effect upon encountering negative emotions.
Selfish desires.
The
Yeah.
disturbance that Ilias caused wasn't for naught. It made the collective question the Overmind. Setbacks in the plan further amplify doubt, which diminishes the Overmind's influence. This inevitably causes the collective to generate negative emotions. Apprehension, disappointment, panic, avarice. These negative emotions can be very well hidden, as humans generally do not share completely transparent channels of communication. But in the hive, where there are no secrets, negativity can spread like a tidal wave. Of course, what I said to Ilias was the trigger for all of this. A few words were enough. Believe in the power of words, Siraj.
So I just have a question. What if Siraj never sent Ilias back to the academia? In other words, he could have sent him back to the academia either way, but I suppose he would have needed to forget his memories in order to pass the lie detector test that we saw in part 1. But that whole idea was his undoing, because the idea of having someone leave the hive and then come back, that was the whole vessel that Alhaitham needed to pull this off.
You were already thinking of a way to destroy the collective consciousness, even back then.
Because he knew of the research project, he must have known that this was what he was up to. He chose not to say anything. And the reason he would have known is because he was the one who recommended rejecting the research in the first place.
You knew that Ilias was the bait all along? But how did you know? Since when?
Probably from the
I knew
beginning.
it from the moment I saw him.
Yep.
Moreover, I never looked down on you. My opinion of you has always been objective. You have a naive view towards the concepts of collective consciousness and human evolution, but you are intelligent and disciplined. You would never let a test subject escape. Mistakes like that are beneath you, and you also won't leave any mistake without a resolution.
I never thought I'd hear those words come from you. But if you're saying that out of sympathy, spare me. I know very well that you've never viewed me as an equal. When you were with us, you always had a distant look in your eyes. You don't need to hide it. I know it better than anyone else. The arrogance that comes with being a genius. Nobody likes being treated like that.
Your perspective is entirely born from your habitual way of looking at things. From your perspective, you probably think I'm like you, someone who doesn't fit in. However, I've never placed myself on a pedestal. I just want to distance myself from meaningless noise and look at everything objectively. On the other hand, you have failed to come to terms with who you truly are. You care too much about winning and how others perceive you.
You mean to say that I'm the arrogant one here?
Yes.
Is that not so? Arrogant and emotionally fragile.
Yes,
You
and
view
yes.
people as a simple, mediocre collective, while you regard me as one of your kind.
Regardless, I have lost. You can take me back to the academia and stand trial.
You will stand trial, yes. But arresting people isn't in my job description. I'm just an ordinary staff member. I believe it is the General Mahamatra's duty to escort you away.
Oh, look who it is.
Sino? What are you doing here?
Deus Ex Sino.
I followed the symbols. Looks like things have already been settled.
Symbols?
I left a similar picture in my letter to him, and I made several similar symbols on the way here.
Wait, what do you mean you left a letter? Oh, Paimon remembers! When Paimon first saw you, Arav said that you had left a letter for Sino. So you really did know that something was up with Ilias from the start! You lied to us too!
It'd be best if you didn't spout nonsense. I never employed any mode of trickery on you. By the way, I came across some information at the Academia a few days ago. If you practice the method discussed therein, your vision may improve. Do you need it?
Seriously? This guy. By the way, Sino, Paimon heard that Siraj sent more people to the Academia. We can't let those jerks get away!
Don't worry. The Matra have started screening suspicious persons, and we've already arrested many of Siraj's associates. This was likely one factor that caused the Hive's consciousness to waver. Everything went as you predicted, Alhaitham.
Good. Seems like the interesting part is already over. I'll leave the arrests to you all. See you.
And off he goes. There still are a lot of test subjects here, so let's stick around for a while.
All right. Oh, they're all together here.
Oh no. Oh no. I was involved in all these plans to get rid of the acting Grand Sage? What came over me? How could I do something like this?
We were accomplices without knowing it. But I'm afraid that Alhaitham might pressure the Matra into giving us heavier sentences. Whether he's the scribe or the acting Grand Sage, we can't afford to offend him. It seems our future at the Academia will be full of uncertainties.
We can discuss the future later. Leaving the collective left me with a strange sense of guilt. I didn't feel anything towards Alhaitham at first, since he wasn't well known. All the opinions I heard about him were negative, though.
Siraj made us hate Alhaitham, and we blindly accepted that hatred and thought of him as a bad person.
From how things look, we've done a lot of irrational things.
I guess we're getting what we deserve. Could you help us apologize to Alhaitham?
Sure, Paimon will help you tell Alhaitham. But whether he chooses to forgive you is up to him.
It's okay. No matter what he chooses, apologizing will make us feel slightly better. If he chooses to remember this, we're prepared for our punishment.
I think we've already established that Alhaitham doesn't care what other people think of him. So, I don't know. I think that we could also establish that Siraj was pretty much the majority of the ringleader for this. It's hard to lie guilt or lie blame to the brainwashed foot soldiers.
It's time to go.
Let's go.
But suppose everything will have its course.
So, were they all doomed?
It probably were, probably most of them.
We can ask Alhaitham about that later.
There's a possibility that some of the higher ups weren't.
Looks like I can't.
Maybe some of the ones
Siraj
like
number
single
36.
digits.
Yet, my life as Ilyas goes on. When I was at Gandharvaville, I thought about whether I should just come forward with the truth. But I didn't have the courage then. So in
All's
the
well
end,
that ends well.
I lost my sense of justice, but I also wasn't able to conform.
Ilyas?
Don't be sad. I'm the one who deceived you. However, I didn't come out of this completely empty-handed. The moment the hive collapsed, an idea popped into my head. I realized that the collective I was always trying to fit into wasn't as powerful as I had imagined. Understanding that gave me courage somehow. Perhaps one day I could be just like Alhaitham and not care about what anyone else thinks.
You can do it. Paimon believes in you.
Thanks. Well, I should get going. I'm one of the primary suspects in the case, so I'll have to receive my due punishment. Can you keep this a secret from my parents and my sister? I just don't want them to worry. Also, please apologize to Alhaitham for me. Goodbye, you two.
I don't see why we would go out of our way to tell your family what happened. I don't think this is going to be a secret.
All the test subjects have been taken away.
Good.
I'll have my subordinates seal the place, retrieve all documentation, and destroy the system. Are you two hurt? I brought bandages and hemostatics.
Nah.
Paimon's fine. Just a little tired.
Get some rest. Alhaitham is probably waiting for you at the entrance. Go see him when you're done here. Watch out for any of Siraj's associates who might still be in hiding. If you encounter anything you can't take care of, come find me at the academia.
Okay, you stay safe too, Sino. Let's go meet up with Alhaitham.
Okay, sure. And that's the end of this one-time only domain. Give me rewards, please. Thank you. And kind of cool. All right, I'm out of here. Yeah, I had farmed the Jade Plume Terrastrum early on in 3.0 because I decided that I wanted to build Kale pretty early just so I would have 2 Dendro units. And then I end up using Lumine for just about everything Dendro. I do bring Kale in from time to time, but Kale is usually brought in as a Dendro unit for the opposite side as the Traveler, or Lumine.
The matter's settled. We can return now. I actually thought it would have been settled sooner. This took much longer than I expected. Judging by your faces, it seems like you two still have some questions.
Yeah, that's right.
I respect your curiosity, but I'm off the clock now, so I'm not going to field any questions.
Darned bad luck.
We're not your colleagues!
You couldn't tell that was an excuse just now?
What? Are you kidding me? You're not leaving today until you explain what happened back at Siraj's secret base!
See ya.
Hold it right there!
Are you done? Your behavior is reminding me of some other people.
Stop changing the subject!
It's too much of a hassle to explain everything from the top. You know what? Come with me.
Where to?
You'll know when we get there.
Okay. Oh, look at how far away that is. No way am I walking that far. Back to the city. Trying to judge where I think that is. Well, let's look high first. So yeah, I'm trying to think of what was different, because that was what we used to win. That was the lineup that I used to defeat the Jade Plume. Although I guess, now that I think about it, now that I think about it, Fischl is a lot better built now than she was in 3.0. I had one set of artifacts I had on her at one point, and then I changed my mind and switched things over a little bit after getting some very sage advice. And I may not have completely followed through on such sage advice.
Your home?
Yes.
What's with you all of a sudden? Being all polite and inviting us over?
So yeah, Fischl I would have leveled up a lot of her talents since then. I don't know if her talents are leveled up significantly higher than they were in 3.0, but Yanfei certainly would have been. But I didn't really use her that much. Actually, no, I wouldn't have had Yanfei in the party back then, because I'm pretty sure there's something that does something bad if you attack it with pyro. I'm trying to remember exactly what it is. Someone who's fought the Jade Plume Terrastream more recently probably knows what I'm talking about. Alright, anyway, enough talking.
Ah, you're back. Quick, come help me see if this painting's all straightened. Huh? Who are they?
Stop making a fuss. They're obviously guests.
You're not from the academia, are you?
What the heck are you wearing?
I'm unsure she's seen you before. You're that person from that time in that one place!
Wait, what? How do you know me? Oh no, do people know that I live here?
What? You're embarrassed only now of all times?
Oh, you guys are roommates!
Yes, we are, but keep that to yourselves. Please, don't tell anyone else.
I keep a few books on collectives and the subconscious here at home. I'll get them. You all chat in the meantime.
Do we have to?
Hey! You're leaving just like that? What's the deal, Alhaitham? Sorry, I know we've only just met, but I have to ask. Are you, you wouldn't happen to be actors that Alhaitham hired to pretend to be his friends, would you?
What?
Guess not. I've never seen him invite friends home before, so please excuse my surprise. You guys get it, right? You know, with his temperament and stuff.
But aren't you his friend?
I wouldn't say friends exactly. Okay, well, we used to be, but we're not anymore.
Huh?
Don't worry about it. My name is Kaveh. I'm sorry to have met you under these circumstances. Anyway, please don't say anything about me living here.
You seem like you got a lot going on. So maybe Samora will make Paimon shut up.
Are you serious? How could you? Of course. You're Alhaitham's friends.
What?
I know.
Response. You expose your own weakness.
Still, why do you have to treat me like he does?
Judging by the deafening din coming from the living room, you all must be getting along quite well.
Entertain your own friends, why don't you?
I'll leave the books here.
Paimon's dizzy from reading. This is way too complicated. Why don't we just ask questions instead? Paimon wants to know, oh, how did you know about the collective consciousness's weakness?
A year ago, Siraj presented his thesis to the Grand Sage, who offhandedly asked for my opinion. I actually responded with 2 lines of reasoning. The first, as I've already said, was that his research was on human evolution, a subject prohibited by the academia. The second was that I thought the direction of his research was too extreme, but his approach too conservative.
Wait, that's too conservative? He built such a large lab, gathered all those people, and even tried to get rid of you!
One way to stabilize a collective consciousness is to remove the test subject's humanity altogether. The optimal solution to achieve collective consciousness is to focus solely on the overmind and treat the other test subjects as tools.
That's way too dangerous. You're not seriously considering that, are you? Whew.
I'm merely stating the facts.
Not.
If Siraj had done that, I would have felt his work to be just as senseless. It's impossible for any species to evolve overnight, and humans without their humanity cannot be called humans. That's why the academia prohibited research into human evolution. Most research of this kind tends to run contrary to evolution.
Huh. Paimon gets it now.
Ha! That's rich coming from you. If humans aren't humans without their humanity, then you'll probably evolve into some other species in another decade, I wager.
What about you? Are you going to devolve into a fungus?
At least I'd be a fungus with empathy. Sorry for eavesdropping, but what happened to you guys?
Oh my.
Are you in trouble?
Sort of. We encountered a strange researcher that had it out for us.
Are you all okay?
To be more precise, they had it out for Alhaitham. We just happened to be there.
That's how things went. Such is life. If only he'd known, Alhaitham could have stayed indoors today, and the whole thing could have been avoided, right? Plus, he could have helped me with the housework for once. See those books? They've been sitting there waiting for someone to sort through them for an age. If you're not gonna read them, tidy them away. They don't belong there.
Can you feel the awkwardness in the air? I hope you're aware of your lack of conversational skills.
Oh, so the pot's calling the kettle black, is he? Well, having said all that, are you okay?
I'm doing quite well. Much better than that painting you're trying to hang on the wall.
You don't understand anything. Stop criticizing my taste in decoration.
This is boring.
Paimon can't tell which of them is more problematic. Let's just get this over with and leave.
I agree 100%,
You whisper very
Paimon.
loudly.
Oh!
We don't care.
Yeah, Paimon's been told that.
Do you have any more questions?
Let Paimon think. Oh, by the way, the other researchers apologized to you. They hope that you can forgive them.
I bear them no ill will. More accurately, I don't really care about what they think of me.
I said
To
that.
some extent, they were also fooled by Siraj. The Matra will take this into account at their trials.
Right.
Ilias also said that he wanted to tell us the truth at Gandharvaville, but he didn't have the courage. He apologized to you, too.
It doesn't matter. I never considered asking him to come forward with the truth. Judging from his experiences, he's more courageous than the average person. There's no need to lay even more criticism on him. Criticizing the brave only shows how weak you yourself are. I'm going for dinner in 10 minutes, so I'll field one last question.
Paimon doesn't have any more questions. How about you?
What were you actually interested in?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. You only started investigating with the Matra at the Academia because you were interested in something, right? But after meeting Siraj, it didn't seem like you were interested in him or his experiment.
I had no interest in him personally, but I was curious as to why so many people were willing to form a collective consciousness with him. I now understand the reason.
Something to do with the current atmosphere at the Academia.
Correct. The fall of the Sages and the shutdown of the Akasha terminals deeply affected the Academia.
As it should.
The fact that Siraj's project attracted so much interest despite not being approved speaks to the lack of research projects as of late. As the acting Grand Sage, I'll have to figure something out. In addition, what happened to Ilias is worth our attention. Reporting academic fraud was the right thing to do. He didn't deserve the outcome that he had received.
I said that earlier.
Understands now. Oh, you're pretty serious when it comes to work, huh?
I think minimum viable seriousness is a more apt description. I'll do my best to take care of this mess until my resignation is approved.
Wait, your resignation?
Yes. I've already submitted my resignation to the Academia. Soon, I'll resign as the acting Grand Sage and go back to being its scribe. I don't think Siraj knew about that. If he had waited just a few more days before acting, I would have already resigned. What he'd do then wouldn't have been any concern of mine. However, even without my input, his unstable model would have collapsed for some other reason, so it makes no difference.
But why do you want to resign?
Because he doesn't
I'm
want
not
to be
suited
Grand
to be a
Sage.
sage, nor do I want to be one. The official process to select the new sages is already underway, but this process is long and takes far too much time. If I serve as acting Grand Sage for too long, the position might become permanent. That would be troublesome. This job isn't something I want to spend the rest of my life doing.
You have a pretty clear direction for yourself. Also, this is an irony because he's probably the one most suited to be the Grand Sage, but he doesn't want the job.
It's important to keep your priorities straight. Well, it's about time. You two should grab some dinner as well.
Yeah, we're going.
Oh, now that you say that, Paimon's kinda hungry. See ya! We're gonna grab some yummies!
Bye.
See ya.
Bye-bye. Done.
The name Siraj doesn't ring a bell. Was he in your class?
How did I do that? Not these two.
He isn't someone who would leave an impression, so it's expected that you don't remember him.
I've always had a hard time appreciating the way that the academia pressures people by labeling them as geniuses. But even so, the academia can't be left to you. Or perhaps I should say that I'm delighted to see that you have a base amount of self-awareness. If the people in the academia haven't gone mad, they'd know that I'm much more suited to be a sage than you.
And I suppose they'd let everyone know that your career as a sage will be as shaky as that painting.
Again, that's mighty rich coming from someone about to resign. In a few days, you'll be managing files again. You'll be back at rock bottom.
But my salary will likely stay the same.
Wait, what? How come? Why do you get special treatment?
At least I don't have to be an architectural designer who works himself to death just to get a smile from his client.
You... I took time out of my day to clean the living room for you, and this is the thanks I get for it? I'd have been better off catching up on my work. I still have designs to finish.
Make sure to pay back the rent you owe me. I'm going to buy some furniture with that Mora.
What? Are you trying to annoy me to death? The decorations you buy keep getting uglier and uglier. What's the point of having a boring wood carving in your house?
You'll have to blame that on my financial freedom.
Fine. Go ahead and hide behind your financial success if you want.
Did I really have to go through this stupid door?
Do you have anything of true value to boast about?
I think I'd have too many choices, to be honest. You, on the other hand, can you think of any redeeming features at all?
Artistry, for sure. You don't know the first thing about interior design. Don't go off buying random furniture unless you take me with you.
So I'll have to bring you along and then buy you drinks?
Of course.
But why would I do that? It would just be another form of a loan, and you'd have to pay me back eventually.
Can't you just be nice and not ask for the Mora back?
Pretending that you're not in debt is as ridiculous as pretending you're not living in someone else's home. Word will get out sooner or later.
Speaking of which, your friends won't say anything, right? Tell them to keep all this a secret.
There's no need to hide it so carefully. I think the truth's already out. You're such a lightweight that a few drinks at the tavern had you spilling all your beans.
What? No, it can't be.
Quick, before they start talking again. Which way's out? This way? Wait, what's over here? No, this is not out. Freedom! Ooh. Oh my gosh. I know people there are people out there that can't wait for that guy to have his own banner. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. But not for me. I think my reactions to that scene made that abundantly clear. Not for me. So, but before I end this, because the test runs are still there, I want to see if, because I couldn't remember, did he actually have the same artifact set in the trial run as he did in the story quest that we just did? Because that would be interesting, because I don't think Noblesse is the right one for him. I have some ideas, but I don't think Noblesse is the way to go. Okay, so in the test run he had Gilded Dreams 4-piece, which is much more reasonable. I think if I was building him, I probably would go for a more stable 2-piece Gilded, 2-piece Wanderers. that would give him a stable boost of 160 elemental mastery. You can get more from the Gilded Dreams 4-piece set, but it has to be under certain conditions and with certain parties. But I think it works just fine. Probably works just fine. If his roommate shows up in a banner, I don't know. Maybe it may. I don't know. That's it for today. If I didn't offend you, please leave a thumbs up. Yeah, you can leave a comment if you want. I totally understand. Totally understand. And if for some odd reason you want to see more of me, consider subscribing to this channel and following me on Twitch. I'll try not to say too many more bad things about his roommate, but it's not for me. Yeah, I will see you in the next video.